participant and eminent panelists who are very renowned, eminent, and illustrious in the sector. Today, we all here to discuss a very important and critical subject on career opportunities with the dairy and agriculture sector. It is very important and extremely relevant to the current and aspiring of the sector. So this event is being organized by Center of Excellence for Dairy Skills in India, CEDSI, in collaboration with Agriculture Skill Council of India, ASCI. So over the span of 3 decades, India has transformed from a country of acute milk shortage to the world's leading milk producer country. Dairy is one of the biggest agribusiness in India and a significant contributor to Indian economy. So a wide range of smart technology applications and a rapid changing market is transforming the sector so much that the future growth depends on the higher propensity to innovate and remain at the frontier of new technology. Business principle in emerging market scenarios warrant higher competitiveness and productivity based on continuous innovation, efficient supply chains, and better farm management practices. The paradigm shift in structure of agriculture and dairy production processing would implicitly require more skilled resources to expand and growth of the sector. With the change in the dynamics of the sector, it has been observed that many career opportunities are emerging in recent days. The objective of this workshop is to orient students with the existing and upcoming prospect in the sector, which would help students to provide a perfect launch on completion of their graduation, their master's, or their PhD. Even this webinar is extremely relevant for those who aspire to be an agriculturist or aspire to be a dairy graduate. So today with me, I have 3 eminent panelists. To start with, I have Dr. Prajapati sir. Sir is a dairy technology graduate from Gujarat Agriculture University and a PhD in dairy microbiology from NDRI Karnal. He recently retired as the principal and dean of the Faculty of Dairy Science at Anand Agriculture University. He is the chairman of Indian Dairy Association Gujarat State Chapter, and he is presently working as a chairperson of Dr. Verghese Kurian Center of Excellence at IRMA. So, Dr. Prajapati sir, I would like to invite you on the stage to take the things forward. So the Prajapati sir, we will have Q&A sessions towards the last of the webinar. Over to you, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. At the onset, I thank the Center of Excellence on Dairy Skill India and Skill Council of India for inviting me to be for this panel discussion. And I welcome all the participants. Now we are almost 142 or so. So I will just give my view on some of the facilities which we have for education, dairy education in the country, and the career opportunities for such graduates. I will be sharing my presentation. So I will restrict myself to dairy sector because we'll hear from agriculture sector from Dr. Jala. These are some of the basic facts about the dairy sector, because it is involving a huge population in this profession. 140 million dairy farms and 700 million people are engaged in this. And this creates 800 million jobs. So when we are talking about the career opportunities, this is very important. Globally, it contributes to 27% of the total GDP from livestock sector. And India is number one in milk production since 1998. We have maintained it. And at present, it contributes to 22% of the total milk production. And the USP of Indian dairy sector is cooperative sector. The strongest cooperative sector in the milk is there in India. And that is why dairy is not simply the business in India, but it is a model for socio-economic development of the rural milk producers. So this is very important because we are not looking it as a business, but also as a good model. Indian dairy sector is growing at the rate of 4.5%. It is above the world average. But the total amount of milk processed by organized activities is still around 20-25% or so. We have a lot of scope to improve this and bring under the organized sector. And that is why huge opportunities for young entrepreneurs to enter into dairy sector. The new technologies are being adapted. The market is growing rapidly. So the chances of exports are also increasing. And the society is becoming health conscious and the consumer preferences are increased. So we have a lot of scope for diversification. And that is why we need a very, very well skilled, trained manpower to this. As far as dairy education is concerned, India is the only country in the world where specialized dairy education leading to graduate degree is available. BSc DT or BTech DT जैसा program और कहीं नहीं है. And our visionaries were so good that this is the sector which is likely to grow, and because India is a farmers-oriented country, we will need them. So the first institute was Allahabad Agriculture Institute, started in 1910. Then there was Imperial Institute of Animal Husbandry and Dairying in Bangalore, 1923. And then the Krishi Vidya Bhavan or the Institute of Agriculture, Anand, 1938. That is the Anand Agriculture University at present. So these are the beginner institutions and who were the foundation of growth of dairy sector in the country. However, at present there are 21 dairy colleges. It might have increased now because some private colleges also come. We have only one national institute, NDRI, which offers degree in dairy technology and have intake capacity of total intake capacity of 754 dairy graduates, 154 postgraduates, and 21 doctorate degree professionally annually. ये शायद 1920 का data है that this much we have produced. There are some issues related to supply and demand of dairy professionals. There is some contradictions. So we did it at Anand Agriculture. We did a study on supply and demand of dairy professionals in India, and we found there is a surplus of 352 graduates and 232 postgraduates. And the main reason for this is that underemployment of dairy professionals, and it is replacing the basic science graduates with lower wages in most of the dairies because hiring a BTech in dairy technology becomes a little bit expensive than having simply BSc microbiology chemistry. This is not as per the requirement of ASWA because officials say also want that you should have degree in a professional college related to food. And there are some studies say that there will be a lot of shortage of dairy graduates, but this shortage is a pseudo shortage because when we are counting the dairy industry as the how much human resource is required in the dairy industry, hardly 10% of the resource which is required in dairy is related to having graduate degree in dairy science. Otherwise, they are all other degrees, maybe engineers or simple basic science graduates, or maybe just ITA or operators like this. And that is why the real shortage is not there, but there is lot of scope. Please don't confuse with the scope and the availability of graduates. As far as career opportunities are concerned, we have ample opportunities for higher studies. That once you do graduation in a dairy college, the basic degree is BTech in dairy technology. It is a 4 years program, 3 years studies and 1 year hands-on training in a dairy plant as per the new ICAR norms. one full year is dedicated for developing the skills or in the different modules for working practically in the field. Higher studies can also be pursued in other fields. If you plan to go abroad in European countries or maybe in Canada or Australia or USA, you can join food technology degrees, and that is easily available. And there is a lot of name and fame of the graduates from India, and you usually get admissions to such courses in higher degree. Further, the major employer of the Indian dairy graduates is cooperative sector, which is very strong. Even though it is handling hardly 20% of the total milk produced, it has still employment opportunities, possibilities in this. And apart from cooperative, there is a lot of opening coming in private sector jobs. There are now few multinationals also in the India, but there are so many private players operating the dairy farms and the dairy plants, handling maybe starting from 5,000 liters of milk to even 5 lakhs liters of milk. So there is a lot of opportunities. In the government jobs, we have still dairy development departments in most of the states where these technology graduates can do. There are ample opportunities banking sector also. Probationary officers for these post banks do employ dairy graduates, and you can do. Many of them are going for civil service examination and also join government jobs. So multinational food industries are there. Other industries, that means you can go into allied industries also. And along with that, I will club the management science, because once you have MBA from any institution, after your graduation, you move to any industry. It may be a IT sector, or it may be pharma sector, or it may be simple management or anything. I have seen people succeeding even textiles and the telecommunications and even mass communication and so many things. So there are so many opportunities. As far as opportunities abroad are concerned, there are no directly dairy related jobs if you migrate outside. But if you have experience of working or having some degree from that country, then you get a proper job there. And there is no limitation to become an entrepreneur. It is most welcome, because we're having a lot of milk producing this. And if you are innovative, you can be entrepreneur. And there is a lot of schemes, say Startup India, this Raftar scheme, and many other schemes are available where the new entrepreneurs are supported. So this is in a nutshell that there are plenty of opportunities available in this. As far as there are some shifts in changing, the new graduates are required to orient themselves as per these. So I listed here a few points. See, automation come long back. 20 साल पहले आया था. Now it is going to robotics. So if you are simply a dairy graduate, you need to have some skills, some knowledge about these kind of things if you want to have a good job or a good growth in this. Similarly, digitalization, use of IoT, इसकी भी बहुत जरूरत पड़ती है. Most of the operations now in dairy are getting digitalized. I am always giving example of Amul, the Kera district plant here in this. They have digitalization in all the sectors, including procurement of milk to marketing and so many things. So this is necessary in the new graduates. Further, the society has become more health conscious, and hence we need to provide nutrition and safe foods. ऐसा नहीं था पहले तो creameries था, just to make butter and ghee and powder and sell it, and then people will purchase. It's not like so. Now they are very health conscious, and you want to provide the nutritious food. Especially COVID-19 has taught us that we need to develop a nutrition or immunity boosting food products. See, the haldi doodh or golden milk is a great example of our industry adapting to this requirement. Value-added products are very much required, because we have to be sustainable. Selling liquid milk as it is may not earn the profit as we need. If you want to have more profit, you have to go for less volumes, but with higher price and premium price, which will also have export potential. India is the largest producer of milk, and hence exporting the products is necessary. At present, we are almost negligible in exporting our dairy products. but in future we'll have to export and earn foreign currency so that our farmers can be paid a higher rate. Similarly, plant-based beverages are posing competition. They are going to be there and they are increasing. So we have to take them as opportunity, not to fight against them. They will be there, but then we have to coexist with them. And that is why there are so many good things available in plant sources and we can develop several products. See, our ancestors were making raitas with fruits and vegetables incorporated into dahi and so. Similar kind of products, value-added products can be developed, which can go at a premium price. Other thing is environment concerns. We have, see, the world dairy is aiming to be carbon neutral by 2050. So we have to be very careful in saving our resources. And so you should have orientation towards this, that how you will save water, how you will save electricity, how you will save power, and all these things. Similarly, you need to have enhanced skills. So there are so many short-term training programs available. You can update your skills and this. There are many programs going on. And with that, it is one of the example where almost throughout the year, the short-term training programs are going on for different levels of professionals and the operators and the students. Similarly, develop higher level of training in product design, marketing and distribution. These things are becoming very important. In what way you are putting your product to the customer is very important. Similarly, probiotics and functional foods are growing segments. It has gone to pharma, it is flourishing. Now we need to educate the medical people, health sector people that such foods can go as a supplement and it will reduce the cost of the treatment. Also, we have to develop indigenous machinery, indigenous products, indigenous technology to be Atmanirbhar. Still today, most of the machinery is imported. We have to be very creative in developing such competitive kind of machinery here, and also give focus to our indigenous dairy products, which has got potential, very high potential for marketing throughout the world. And last point is improving competitiveness. We have to compete along with the multinationals, private, cooperative, government sector, and so on. We cannot sit idle and see that it should grow automatically. Nothing grows automatically. You have to work hard. So my advice to all the new entrepreneurs, new students, that be careful and take all these 13 points into mind before you go to. So with this I end. This is the picture from the Vidya Dairy. Vidya Dairy is one of the greatest example of hands-on training facilities in the country. The most successful model, appreciated by the entire world. So thank you very much with this. I will take up questions later on when the organizers ask for that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Anirudh, and I hand over to you.
Thank you, Prajapati sir, for the 13 special mantras to the current students, which will for sure help them out in performing better when they go out from their colleges into the corporate world. Thank you, sir. So next we are having with us Dr. Jhala sir. Dr. Jhala sir is Director of Research and Dean of Postgraduate Studies in Anand Agriculture University. He is having around 34 years of experience into academics. He has been guiding and guided 34 postgraduate students, including the PhD students. And I request Dr. Jhala sir to take over from here.
Yeah, thank you. Very good afternoon to all. Very respected, my ex-colleague, Dr. Prajapati sir, Dr. Kulkarni, and all the respected officials from Agricultural Skill Council of India and from Center of Excellence for Dairy Skills in India. I'm very happy to be amongst this group, especially addressing your students has always been a pleasure because I've been a teacher for more than 3 decades. And it's a privilege to address to the students, especially on a topic which is so relevant in today's context with regards to career opportunities with the paradigm shift in agriculture and dairy sector. My apologies again because of some technical hitch. There was some delay on my part. I'm really very sorry for that. And of course, as per the topic for dairy sector, Dr. Prajapati sir has beautifully highlighted the scenario. So I'll be touching the area of the agriculture other than the dairy sector mainly. Now, when we talk about the job market or in that context, the career opportunities in the area, that discussion should begin with the corresponding roots sown in the concerned education area, because it's the output of the any educational activity which leads to the career opportunities. So as far as the agricultural education in our country is concerned, the formal agricultural research and education in India started in the beginning of 20th century with the establishment of Imperial Agricultural Research Institute and the agricultural colleges at Kanpur, Nagpur, Coimbatore, Pune and Sabar. And then a 2-year postgraduate course leading to Diploma of Associateship of IARI was started in 1923. Soon after independence, the government of India constituted University Education Commission under the chairmanship of Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, and recommendation of the commission helped greatly to shape the destinies of higher education in India and form the basis of establishing agricultural universities in India. First and second joint Indo-American teams recommended for establishment of agricultural universities in various states of the country on the pattern of the land grant colleges of the United States of America. And then in a historic decision, Indian Agricultural Research Institute, what we know as IARI, New Delhi, was declared as the first deemed to be University of India in 1958. It started imparting postgraduate education leading to MSc and PhD degrees in agriculture. And this was the beginning of reorganization and modernization of higher agricultural education in the country. Following this, the first agricultural university was established in 1960 at Pantnagar. Thereafter, subsequent state agricultural universities, what we know as SAUs, were established in Bhubaneswar, Ludhiana, Hyderabad, Jabalpur and Bangalore in early mid-60s. And my university, Anand Agricultural University, formally, of course, with the Institute of Agriculture, was already established in 1938, as mentioned by Dr. Prajapati. But the Gujarat Agriculture University was established in 1972 at Anand. And now there are 4 universities created out of the zone-wise. And now Anand Agriculture University was formed in 2004. Today, India has about 74 farm universities concerned with agriculture, and among these there are 3 central agricultural universities, 63 state agricultural universities, 4 deemed to be universities, and 4 central university with agricultural faculties. And when we talk about agricultural education or higher education or education in any sense today, I think we must discuss the topic in relation to the National Education Policy 2020 that has been already floated by the Government of India. So this National Education Policy NEP 2020 has observed that although agricultural university comprise approximately 9% of all universities in the country, enrollment in agriculture and allied sciences is less than 1% of all the enrollment in higher education. So that is a point of actually a concern for increasing the enrollment in the agricultural education, because the demand in the market is so huge. And one of the studies suggests that we are hardly say able to provide about 50 to 60% of the demand in the market about the competent human resource in the area of agriculture and allied sector. The intake capacity of students in the agricultural and allied sector education was less than 5,000 in 1960, which has now gone up to about 40,000 with about 350 constituent colleges These agricultural university enroll on annual basis about more than 25,000 students at undergraduate level and over 15,000 students at the master's and at the PhD level. And in addition to this, there are many private affiliated colleges enrolling thousands of students annually. There are about 23 or more than 23,000 scientists, agricultural scientists for teaching, research and extension under the present ICAR Agricultural University system. As the students must know that as there is the Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, for medical education, similarly there is a Indian Council of Agricultural Research, ICAR, New Delhi, which governs the entire agricultural education in the country. And degree courses at undergraduate level, we are offered in 12 different disciplines as per the new recommendations of ICR, and about 93 disciplines at the postgraduate levels. They are offered with an emphasis on learning through hands-on practical sessions. The agricultural science involves research and development on production, processing, productivity of crops, and end products for consumers. So major activities include providing quality and quantity of farming, improving crop yield, minimizing labor, conservation of soil and water, and other pest and disease control measures. So agriculture sector is not only about scientific research and development. It provides a role for the students and the graduates with a business background as well. The traditional career opportunities are there in government departments, research and education sector, nationalized banks, agri-inputs industry, and government and policy-making agencies. The emerging sectors include agribusiness, food processing, financial sector, retailing, rural marketing, international trade, rural credit, and insurance, warehousing and commodities, and even NGOs also provide the opportunities. Among half of the professionals within the agricultural sector have got business related roles. The key areas of suppose MBA in agribusiness are agricultural marketing, agricultural pricing, agricultural law, agricultural trading, and merchandising, agricultural economics, even agricultural data analysis, which is now a newer field emerging, and even the farm management. And the non-scientific roles include marketing, technical sales, merchandising, economists, as I mentioned, accountants, finance manager, commodity traders, and other services. So you can very well appreciate that the Indian agriculture has undergone transformation from traditional cultivation methods to high-tech agriculture requiring manpower equipped with latest knowledge and technologies for continued growth and sustainability. Success of an education institute is rated not only based on development of technologies, but also on demand and marketability of its product, that is the quantity of students and quality of students and their placement in the market. So in spite of great demand and opportunities for agricultural graduates in banking and insurance sectors, retailing industry, multinational companies, government departments, and non-government organizations, the agricultural graduates are generally unable to decide their career options even after 4 years of university education. So unlike medical and engineering disciplines, for which there is a great awareness amongst the parents and the students, the agricultural education has not received much attention due to lack of matching publicity and visibility. The agricultural curriculum, if I can say a few words about it, is multidisciplinary, covering a wide array of subjects into its fold, which makes its product, that is agri graduates, multifunctional and suitable for a broad spectrum of career options. These undergraduate degree courses have recently been declared as professional degree courses by the Government of India, by the Council, that is Indian Council of Agricultural Research, which has further encouraged the pursuits of learning in agriculture and allied science subjects. So these main undergraduate degree programs, which are accredited by the ICAR, they are in the disciplines of agriculture, horticulture, forestry science, fishery science, community science, sericulture, agricultural engineering, dairy technology, already highlighted by Dr. Prajapati sir, food technology, biotechnology, and now with an emphasis on agribusiness management also, and also in food nutrition and dietetics. So the main, of course, the career conventional opportunities for the or the job opportunities and avenues for the agricultural graduates, of course, they are in the public sector. There are plenty of job opportunities in various central and state agricultural development departments for agricultural graduates to join as an agriculture officer, or in some states it is called as agriculture development officer, AO or ADO. The post is equivalent to that of a block development officer. And similarly, there are opportunities to join as a horticulture officer or horticulture development officer in the state department, as a soil conservation officer in soil and water conservation department in certain areas. And recruitment of this post is made on the basis of competitive examination conducted by the State Public Service Commission or the concerned department. A number of nationalized banks and the private sector banks offer openings for agriculture and allied science graduate as field officers, rural development officers, and agriculture and probationary officers. The job opportunities also exist in seed companies as a seed officer, scientist, technical officer, etc. Other opportunities exist in the area of farm or tea garden management, especially in northeastern state and the southern state, land appraisal, agricultural grading, packaging, and labeling. The career opportunities also lies in agro-industry sector, which provides job to postgraduates, especially in agriculture as scientists, in sales and marketing, and as a production exports. And of course, there is always a demand in the private sector from the agro-based industries such as seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, and sugar industries. They are some of the potential sectors in which a large number of agri graduates may get the placement. In order to tap the potential of food industry, several retailing markets now, as we know, like Reliance Fresh or Aditya Birla Group, even Walmart, ITC, Nilgiris, Pantaloons are expanding their business that augment job opportunities for the agriculture graduates. And also, of course, there is always a scope for the entrepreneurship of the agricultural graduates. And this has already been very much focused by the Indian Council of Agriculture with the inputs from the Honorable Prime Minister that the agri graduates must have enough skills so that he can develop his own entrepreneur. And we should train the agricultural graduates in such a way that they become a job provider rather than a job seeker. So especially in the curriculum of agricultural courses in most of the discipline, they have introduced a 1-year student ready program in which students are exposed to the real world condition in the rural areas or in the big plants or entrepreneurship organizations and other places where they also earn while learn concept. And if, for this matter, as per the directives from ICAR, all the state agricultural universities have established experiential learning units, ELU, in which students are trained so that after the graduation they can start their own business. And in addition to this, the central government as well as the state governments are also now funding heavily to start the startups or incubator center for the graduates so that they are trained there and then they can develop their own business. So there are about now 135 subsectors in agriculture where the entrepreneurship has been targeted. So this entrepreneurship part is really since last 3 to 4 years have really got an impetus, and we at our university, at our food processing technology college, we have been identified as a state level nodal center for agribusiness startup. So the opportunities for youth in the agriculture and agribusiness sector abound. Technological breakthrough, increased concern for food safety and hygiene. Innovation in agriculture marketing has created a range of new jobs across the agri value chain. A raft of smart technology application. Now, what the future market will be there for the job market, because now we are now have started adapting, or which is in pipeline, like the areas of artificial intelligence in agriculture, big data analysis or big data applications, Internet of Things, IoT, have enabled farmer entrepreneurs to take smart decisions, adopt better farm management practices, and access the best of market opportunities. Another aspect which has been emerging is the precision farming, which has created a demand for services of skilled professionals in farm machinery, greenhouse farming, pesticide and fertilizer application, micro irrigation, and solar energy. And also organic farming is getting a boost nowadays, which has generated renewed interest worldwide and in India. Organic products are growing between 25 to 30% annually. So finally, if I want to summarize, I can say that the agri sector in India is going through a rapid transformation due to application of crop science and technology, a host of policy reforms by the government, and expansion of agribusiness opportunity. The country has experienced a record production of food grains in the recent years, and perhaps most astounding is the growth of horticulture in the country. High value crops, dairy, and livestock. Even during COVID-19 induced lockdown, the sector has recorded a remarkable performance, which has fueled expectation for an agricultural-led recovery of the Indian economy. So, my student friends, there are ample of opportunities already in the pipeline for the agri and allied sector graduates, and the sky is the limit. So only we are now shifting from, there is a really a paradigm shift, not only in the education part, the corresponding in the job market, also there is a paradigm shift which is already on. And in a very near future, we are going to witness a rapid transformation in the job market of the from the agricultural and allied sector graduates. So I end my say initial remarks here, and we'll be happy to join the discussion later on as and when required. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Shala sir. It was great listening from you on the insights of agriculture and allied sector and the current prospects of job opportunities at domestic as well as international level. So it would be a very interactive session during the Q&A session, because we have more than 20 or 30 questions in the chat box, sir. So further, without delaying, I would like to invite Dr. Satish Kulkarni, sir. So Dr. Satish Kulkarni, sir, has obtained his dairy diploma and doctoral degree in dairy technology from NDRI Karnal. He has carried out postdoctoral research in Germany for 3 years, and he was a head of NDRI Bangalore from 2008 to 2015. Currently, he's practicing food law and is also a founder partner of Dairy Skills and Food Quality Academy in Bangalore. He is also the Vice President at Indian Dairy Association, New Delhi. So over to you, Kulkarni sir. We will take the questions at the last.
Thank you very much, Anurag, for this introduction and this on the outset. Let me thank. I think there is echo. Dr. Jalasa, we have to switch off, exit. Yeah. On the outset, I thank the Center of Excellence in Dairy Skills for this invitation, and my co-speakers, Dr. Jala, Dr. Prajapati, and my good old friend and student, Dr. Harsev, and participants. In the next 15 minutes, I will try to share some information relating what exactly the students need to make themselves marketable for their career opportunities. What are the career opportunities which are available, and how there is a paradigm shift in this opportunity which is happening. The students, you all keep in mind that you are in the best of the time as far as I consider it. This was also mentioned by my earlier speakers. Now, getting back to my presentation, may I request Anurag to share my presentation, Anurag sir? Yes, what I will just 15 to 20 minutes upper limit. I will just focus on what are these opportunities, how the shift has taken place in recent times, and what is that we have to do to make ourselves marketable and then to find opportunity for ourselves. In the next slide, I have indicated that what are the traditional areas of employment. It has been fairly well covered my earlier speakers, Dr. Jala and also Dr. Prajapati. Of course, the traditional sectors, they are listed many places. I am not going to list here. There are employments in government sectors which are there. Then cooperative sectors which are there, academic and research which continues even today, banking, finance, insurance, etc., etc. And there are certain private services which are available, and also in the marketing which is there. These are all considered to be the traditional areas of employment. And till now, the the graduates coming, whether it is agriculture or the dairy or the veterinary or anybody, we used to have ample scope and opportunity. But in recent times, the things have changed drastically in different areas. How best we can get into those areas which have been, even though they are related to milk, food, agriculture, commodity, it is being dominated by other professionals. Could be they are engineers or marketing professionals, marketing graduates and all. What our own dairy graduates or agricultural graduates can do to make ourselves to occupy those areas which are being dominated by others. In the next slide, I also have indicated the upcoming areas. May I request Anurag to change the move forward? The other areas of the employment, the upcoming areas, the several of the private sector, agriculture and dairy services are coming. This was listed by Dr. Jala, maybe saying that Internet of Things and also various automation, digitization, etc. has been listed. These are the areas wherein our students need to equip themselves to be able to market themselves to the industry. There are certain new generation companies. There are at least about 70 new generation companies which are already in operation. Could be one of the example which if I can give you. It's called a company called TraceX. What do? They specialize only in the traceability. Today, across the globe, somebody was mentioning about the export and all. If we have to export any of the agri commodity across the globe, one of the most important area, what is important is to see that how you have adopted the traceability practices. There is a company which has come only to specialize in this TraceX. TraceX is the company in the traceability, and this requires certain additional small skills in addition to your direct graduation, post-graduation, or agriculture graduation or post-graduation. Stellup is one such company wherein IoT of things has been taken very seriously, and they are the ones who are pioneers in the application of IoT in the dairy development. Similarly, there are companies like MooID, Canthus, and Milk Basket, and several such companies. They specialize what they do. They're all engineers with certain, mainly it's mainly how they have built up their apps. Through those apps, they market any brand of milk at any place in the country, And such are the opportunities which are there, and they are growing at a very enormous state, especially during COVID. All these e-commerce companies with good software and with good visibility, those are the companies which are the ones which have come out. If those companies, they will have a different type of challenges when it comes to the agri and food commodities. Many a times, though the agri and food, they are the people, the law which is existing today, even an e-commerce company has to obtain an FSSA certificate, FSSA license, which at that time, perhaps even just a couple of years back, many of them, they were arguing they are only aggregators. They do not perform any function. Why do they take it? That means there is some knowledge gap over there. It is this knowledge gap which are the ones which our graduates needs to fill. And I will come to those things also a little later, what you really have to do, how this knowledge gap can be filled. For that, what is your role and what is the role of faculty members? I see some of the faculty members are participating. What is that they can enable, how best they can enable their students? And this IoT enabled services it requires different set of skills. Now, for this, what we can do, it is not that all these things can be acquired at a college or at any of these things. Generally, in many places, these things can be created as additional credit courses, may not be in the college, maybe that even the Center of Excellence in Dairy Skills in joining hands with the GNU type organization or university can create the credit-based courses, which can be something like the 45 hours. Generally, internationally, recognition comes when there are more than 36 hours of credit. Then only it will be taken 36 hours of teaching, then only the credit will be given. So during my tenure at the NDRI Bangalore, I at least had seen to it that many of our PG students, most of them, they had become the lead auditors with ISO 22000 FSMS. We facilitated that type of a service to the students, but for which they had to spend some additional amount of fees. Our students in India, especially in agri, dairy, veterinary and all, they are very fortunate students. They spend, I'll have the previous one, please, Anurag. They are all very fortunate students, mainly because what is the amount of fees or any of those expenditure they are spending is pittance compared to a good school in any of the cosmopolitan cities. So what is best they can do? They can spend a bit from their own source to acquire additional credits, additional knowledge to sell in the market. Always I used to tell to my students, always you should be 1+. Whatever, there are graduates everywhere, but what is that speciality about you? You should be graduate plus something. If you are a PG, you should be a PG plus something. This is what is the one you have to think yourself. Then this was also touched upon data collection, with respect to milk yields, form specific and varieties of this data has management has become very, very important today. And if you have got very good data, this data itself is useful for marketing many of the services, including it can be the products or the agri services or the dairy services or linking of the suppliers, the linking of the buyers. All these things can be taken up. For example, I'm involved with another group of youngsters who are trying to aggregate, they are trying to get the animals from different places, the best possible breed, and then to project them in the proper way to make these good animals available to the farmers or to the dairy farms. So these are the areas which are entrepreneurship based emerging areas, which our students also need to look in. These are being done by engineers and the management graduates today. Sometimes here and there, 1 or 2 agriculture graduate has joined. TraceX is one example wherein a doctorate agriculture doctorate has joined them. In the same fashion, we should have certain trainings and problem solving there are many times there are varieties of problems involved in dairying while doing managing animals or during manufacture of the products. Is it possible from a long distance? I try to solve that problem. Today, human treatment is there on the internet or on the phone. We treat the patients, human patients. Why not we assist many of these problem solving situations which are there? Another company, they are mainly into developing varieties of videos pertaining to many of these milk production, product manufacture, etc. In the next slide, I have indicated what are that our students can do or our faculty can facilitate. Anurag, may I have the next one, please? Our faculty can facilitate some of these things. One such industry aligned certification, perhaps what we did almost about 10 years back. I see some of the participants who are today faculty members, they acquired this ISO 22000 FSMS system. Lead auditor program we conducted at NDRI Bangalore, and many of the PhD students and PG students joined in this program. And by the time they completed, they had additional qualification as lead auditor. Why it's important today with the FSSAI coming in place? Every dairy has to undergo an audit every year. In case they do not come up to certain mark, then they have to go and get the audit done once in 9 months or 6 months, depending upon the score what they get. This again, I would like to mention, even many of our students are not aware these auditing systems which are there. So when you are not aware, then what is that it can be done? This is a part of the food law and regulatory. Is it possible for our Center of Excellence on Dairy Skills to create one complete course or a credit-based course on food law and regulatory? Once when I had that opportunity, we had created a 2-year program on a regulatory, which was later shifted from Bangalore to Karnal. So this food regulatory has become extremely important, and it's very, very complex. Only when you read it very carefully and thoroughly, you will be able to know that what are the complexities involved. Day in and day out, people are asking for advice on this. And then food safety program is very important. And one such program is available with IGNU. It's a PG program. Many of the PG students, whether agriculture or veterinarians or the dairy graduates or food technologists, all can just acquire this additional qualification when they are there. Today, there's food safety officers, designated officers, and varieties of these are getting into or they are the ones who are finding a lot of demand. And because of these FSSAI's regulations, the corporates are recruiting quite a bit of regulatory professionals or personals. And I find I have to be very plain and frank to say that our addressing on this context in most of our educational institution is very poor. So what can be done? Even the students themselves can look at the food law and regulatory, but at the moment there is no certification course available, and this is one thing which I strongly recommend to Center of Excellence to look to create one program, either in coordination with any of the university, or the best is to with the IGNU. If that is done, at least this additional qualification many of our students can get, and then when they come out, they are to a certain extent they are ready to take up such assignments. It is not only the Indian regulatory, many times the products are imported. When they are imported, many of them, the products get held up at the port. There are not too many people to guide them why it has been held up. What is that violation which is taking place? And this is a great opportunity. In fact, just to motivate and inspire my student friends, after my retirement at the age of 62, at 63, I joined a law college and I became a lawyer. Today, I'm a practicing advocate in this food law and regulatory system. I find that this is one of the very lucrative area which you people should look at. Not that it's this thing, it's a highly specialized and wherein you are exposed to varieties of situations with respect to regulatory system. Another area which is upcoming is the food technology, fermentation technology related to alternate proteins. What is this? Dr. Prajapati spoke about vegetable proteins. I am not speaking about vegetable protein. It is the what we call it as alternate proteins. What they say, test tube meat, test tube fish, test tube milk, test tube poultry. Now I am associated again with a company today where we make alternate egg proteins, wherein it's mainly the fermentation is the process. So what this can be done, our students can get specialized training in the fermentation if they get elsewhere. This is one area you please have some time and open some of the Google it and see what is the rate of growth. The alternate proteins are growing at an enormous rate, whether it is fish protein or egg protein or your meat. And Singapore is the first country to recognize this type of a test tube meat. And perhaps many more countries are likely to do this in the years to come. In the next slide, I have given maybe that another 3, 4, 5 minutes I'll spend. May I have the next slide, Anurag? So now, what is that it is needed? Some of these things were mentioned by Dr. Jala. It is not that you have to have, we were working in a very close container type teaching all these years. With this NEP and all, it's likely to be broadened. Our own graduates should have scope to have additional qualification with respect to either basic plus basic degree. It can be dairy technology or dairy science, veterinary science, agriculture science, and then why not have something on economics? Recently, one of my students was working in NDDB, and then recently I joined Cornell University on something on rural development PG program. He himself is a PG dairy technologist, but he has joined. The reason is there are rural areas across the globe and they have to develop. The in international level, that is one area which has got wide scope because it encompasses not only agriculture and all, there are other activities associated with rural development. In such situation, economics plays an important role. Similarly, is it possible for you to equip yourself with basic plus extension in rural development? And then packaging is very, very important that when our graduates come out, our own faculty members can gauge or our own this thing, our students themselves can assess where do they stand with respect to their skills on packaging, selection of the packaging, designing, somebody mentioned, and all. Basic plus coding has become very important if you have to become a self-entrepreneur today or to join any of these milk basket or distribution network, or somebody also mentioned super chains of the market. You require something like coding. All these programs, certain amount of it's possible that we have some small courses which is a credit based. The moment it is credit based, it will be recognized when the students go outside the country, and it should be certificate based and it should be credit based through a university. All these bouquet of courses can be made available to the students at a nominal or at a competitive price, so that since our students, whether it is agriculture, veterinary, animal husbandry, dairy, they are, as a fees, they are all spending very less. They have to spend a bit more to equip themselves and to become, why not I am one plus than the other college students. If they have to do, they have to pick and choose some courses. From where they will do pick and choose, it should be made available either through Center of Excellence type or through the IGNU type. All these things are the ones, modern marketing, imports. How many of us, the students, either even at PG level or at even doctoral level, they know the regulations of imports, that what are the things with respect to what are the safety measures, food safety measures, traceability law, and all, which they need to know. Many of them are not exposed. These are the areas wherein certain different type of skill sets can be created so that our students in the next 10-15 years are well equipped for this. In the next slide, next one, Anurag, I have indicated what is that entrepreneurship is. Somebody mentioned on these varieties of Raftar and startup. Several entrepreneurship opportunities are available today. 25 years back, this was not the case. To raise the fund was very biggest problem. Today, funds are there. Very simple thing I'm asking our dairy technologies. If you are asked beyond cheddar cheese, how many of you can make cheddar cheese? Is it that it's necessary? If you have to, what is the difference between cheddar cheese and other cheeses? Same 100 liters, 10 kg cheese, cheddar cheese gets sold at 400 rupees, whereas Parmesan, Provolone, or Romano gets sold at 2000 rupees per kilo. Same quantity, even with 500 liters, if you put up a entrepreneurship, the amount of money you make, you cannot make in any of these jobs what you are going to join. So that means there is a gap in your skill set. How best one can fill that? We can identify certain places where you will have hands-on training on the production of that particular area. So this is the one area we have to look at entrepreneurship, new product development. It was touched by, I think, Dr. Prajapati. Then there are varieties today, difference in vegetarian, vegan. How many of our students know the difference between vegan and vegetarian? Same thing, it applies even to some of our PG students. What is the difference between them? They are not able to this thing because they are not exposed to many of these things. Then there are certain fortified foods where all I can fortify. It's not that every product I can fortify. I should know that what to fortify, when to fortify, what is the carrier to fortify. These are all specialization. There can be health supplements and foods for specialized needs. Somebody, Dr. Jala touched on organic agriculture. How many of aware what are the recognized system of producing organic products? How many are exposed to that? How many of you know the system? Can you become an organic auditor? That's one of the opportunities which exists. For that, you should equip yourself. Either our faculty should facilitate in that, especially for agriculture graduates, it's extremely useful tool if they can do that. Then dairy commodities are the ones, how do you map the pricing of dairy commodities across the globe? There was in a chart, somebody was asking, why don't we export? But basically, you should have a knowledge on what is the existing situation in the market. That's what is important. And creation of the processing facilities, if it is there, how many of our own graduates and all, at the end, they can have information on processing, inputs required, and all these things are important. In the next 1 or 2 slides, next one, please. What I have indicated is, in case you are looking at entrepreneurship, what is that you have to look in? You have to look in and come out with such products which you can sell in the coming 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So what is that? Today, health and nutrition sells, or especially after the COVID, health and nutrition sells today. You see, then convenience is the next, packaging, quality. This is the area wherein you have to plan your products. These are the key motivation for food purchasers, which are there in the next slide. I have also indicated, Anurag, may I have the next one, please? In the next slide, I also indicated what are the health trends. Health sells, what I mentioned. These are the, either it should be, product should be functional and healthy. For that, again, there is a premium price they can give. How many of you know that when I can call a product as protein rich, source of protein, low in fat, or lactose free, low in lactose, or high in saturated fat, all these things, whether it is organic, probiotic, all these things you should be aware. Then only you will be able to design a product. Then it can be organic, fortified, low fat, low sugar. This is the area in which it's possible to sell your products for entrepreneurship. Lastly, in the last slide, what I indicate is in the last slide, Anurag, though I say that I tell my students, please think in a different fashion. Try to belong to this one phase, which it pays to unbelong. That means try to belong to this unbelong category. Don't move in the same direction where everybody is moving. You try to be one plus always. For that, anytime, any assistance, any support needed, you are always free to contact me. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Perhaps maybe that I have taken about 2-3 minutes more time, but since this is a passion for me, I thought that I'll just give you this thing. Thank you very much. Over to you, Honorable.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Your insights will for sure help Sensi to design its future activities as well. And the certification courses you suggested will be useful for the current and aspiring students. So, sir, we have shortlisted 3 questions. Simultaneously, any of you can answer it. So, to go ahead, the first question is that agriculture and allied subjects is moreover a kind of practical oriented subject, but due to COVID, the things have the classes and the sessions have been taken through online mode. So, what are your views on this, and what are your suggestions to overcome the practical deficient thing in the student? What should the student do? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, the question is quite relevant, of course, but in the first phase of COVID, definitely it was a first experience for even all the educational institutes in the country, including those who were concerned with the agricultural education, to address this issue of practical education to the students. So initially, there a lot of discussions and brainstorming did take place. Even we have got the guidelines from ICAR also, and we are also getting guidelines from the state government time and again. Fortunately, in most of the agricultural universities and for Anand Agricultural University, there was not an issue at all. Partly because for practical aspect, for most of the topics, using the ICT tools, the modules were available. In the sense that the whatever the practical demonstrations, they were essential for imparting that practical training to the students. They were already available with the faculty, and they were shared with the students, and they were taught to the students. In addition, there were specially designed practical modules. The faculty, they recorded the practical modules by themselves, as if thus they are addressing the students offline, and they showed all the, say, the equipments or the farm operations or other things. The videos were made, and also there are many other authentic educational material available on the website. So they were downloaded and they were shared to the students. So majority of the things, practical aspect, they were covered during this era of COVID education, what I term. But definitely, you cannot exactly, replace the offline practical education with the online practical education. So nobody in the world can have exactly the 100% replacement with the online education. But the report and the feedback says that the majority of the part that was covered by these other ICT tools and other tools which are available on the web by the faculty of the agricultural universities.
So,
thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Just to add, actually, what we did is that because most of our dairy students were in different parts of the country and mobility was restricted, so we connected them to the local dairy plant available, and then send them, and we advise them to see particular operations and also this thing. This was done because of the network of students we have and so. So that was one thing which we would have tried. Second thing is that this, as Dr. Jala told, that videos and learning material, so many things are there. But seeing is believing, and that is very important. That is why if they do by their own hands, it will have some impact. And that is why even after completion of the semester or something, we have allowed them to come now also. If they have missed and they want to do something, they are also free to come and practice it now, wherever that was possible. So we have to be practical in this situation for the practicals for of the student. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, very quick, sir. The second question is that how do you foresee a student becoming an entrepreneur just immediate after his graduation? Should he opt as a career in the entrepreneurship, or should he work as a professional in some corporate or cooperative sector? What is your stakes on this?
Is it anybody or what is it?
Sir, open to all. Anyone can take.
Yeah, this entrepreneurship is highly fascinating. If somebody has to have entrepreneurship, basically he should fine tune what is that he is looking at, especially dairy, agriculture, food processing, etc., etc. Basically, I should understand that what you want to do. There are many engineers, they have started, as I said, milk distribution, or along with the milk distribution, agri commodity distribution, etc., in various cities. This is one such entrepreneurship activity which is today is booming. Another is, as I mentioned, that if you are interested in product manufacture, what is that you want to do? Then suppose you are interested in cheese, then appropriate training in the right place. You should have hands-on. Then you should look at the highest value-added product. You should try your level best. One such training I did arrange when I was there in the service for a company called Kodai Cheese. It's an old company. They're still there. The next generation wanted some training in Australia. We arranged for the training. So in the same fashion, you should know where to go for your training and then try to do that. Additionally, if you can, since it's a business, if you can equip yourself with some small finance and then how to raise funds, these are all today specialized, right from Shark Tanks type to varieties of funding is possible. You should try to acquire those knowledge. And those things, depending on size of the operation you are looking at, one is just have at least 6 months of training, hands-on training somewhere, work with your own hands, like a worker. In fact, I say that like a worker you work. Then subsequently, if you want to do a small entrepreneurship program or course, wherever it's available, even many of the management schools have this program today. After that, you just try to venture out with a clear design of your plan, and then look at that opportunity based on your capacity, what size you are looking. Are you in SME or cottage scale, or in a what scale you are looking? You have to design your product, design your project. That's what is my advice to the for entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Anything to add?
Yes, yeah, but I fully endorse the view of Dr. Kulkarni. Just to add, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, that to make the student competent in entrepreneurship or for the business, their own business, the curriculum itself teaches them how to do that. Because as I mentioned, we have a complete 1 year student ready program, in which out of that for 1 semester they go to the rural area, that is rural agriculture work experience, RAVE program they say, And the last semester, it is for experiential learning unit, ELUs. And these are the ELUs funded by the ICR and many state agriculture universities. They have established their own ELU. For example, in my university, we have 11 plus 4 ELUs working, in which the students are trained for 1 semester and they are evaluated based on that. And in many universities, the profits are also shared with the students. So they are, they already are, you can say, the competent enough to start their own business. I'll just give an example. We have one experiential learning unit for honeybee. Honeybee production, of course, it is now getting momentum. And even in the Honorable Prime Minister's doubling the farmer income points, honeybee has been incorporated because farmers can get additional income. So a couple of our graduates, after learning through this ELU on honeybee production, they started their own business and they are doing very well. Even in our food technology college, we have all the extrusion lines for food processing units. So after clearing this ELU module, they joined, they started their own business in the food industry and they are also doing well. So ultimately, it is, as Dr. Kulkarni said, it is the inclination of the student primarily. The advantage is that now there are enough scope of getting the loans or the funds or the incentives from the government for this to have the startups. There are incubation center. Our own college has been recognized as a state level incubation center and a nodal agency for that. So students or the potential entrepreneurs are trained there, and also they are given the you can say the incentives, financial incentives by the government at a smaller scale as well as at the larger scale, and they can go for the business if they want. Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So the last question would be for Prajapati sir. So, sir, how the job market has evolved in the sector of dairy post the white revolution?
Probably everybody knows that there was a boom after the white revolution program was launched in the country, and lot of industries, especially in every district in Gujarat, and then many districts in other states, the new dairy plants were set up. And especially if you set up a dairy plant of say 1 lakh liter of milk handling, it will give employment to around 3,000 people around, directly or indirectly. This is what we estimate. So that has generated employment for technical as well as non-technical persons. And dairy will have different level of persons, starting from managers to the technical officers, their operators, and then the skilled workers and so. So all the sectors, the opportunities for the dairy sector has increased. And then we required managers for managing such dairies. And that is how the Institute of Rural Management was Dr. Varghese Kurian. And then they trained special managers to work in the rural area so that they can focus on the dairy related cooperatives management, and they understand the problems of the rural people, and the contribution of the dairy to the rural economy has to be improved. And that is what we do. Now, apart from simply dairy, there are so many other activities, especially for the rural farmers. These kind of centers are doing. That will include the integrated farm management, agriculture, poultry, fisheries, honey, many other things. So that the profession become sustainable and the farmers' prosperity increase. So it is growing, and it is still further growing because the demand of dairy products are increasing, and the export market is also possible. And we have a specialized market to go into dairy ingredients, especially as not only food ingredients, but also as pharma ingredients. If we can separate all kinds of whey proteins, maybe it's a lactoferrin, the quantity is very small, but it is sold at very high prices. So if you can do R&D and then you have a insight to be to market it to the right sector, you have a lot of opportunities to work with. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So towards the end of the seminar, we had 3 eminent panelists with us and one very much experienced eminent personality from dairy industry with us, Dr. Harshev Singh sir. So at the end, if Dr. Harshev Singh sir is here, I would request him to speak a few words and encourage the students. Sir.
Thank you very much, Anurag. I am grateful to Dr. Prajapati, Dr. Jhala, and Dr. Satish Kundakarni ji for being with us and guiding the students what are their career opportunities. I am also very thankful to all the participants, whether students or some officers or senior officials from some of the organizations, institutions, universities. I am grateful to everybody. I am sure everybody must have learned and what are the views presented by the speakers. They must be of good use to all the students and faculty members and other people who have attended this. Because of the paucity of time, since every question cannot be answered here at this platform, I would request everybody to send the questions in the chat box, and Anurag and his team will try to get in touch with the speakers, get the answer, and mail back to you the answer. Once again, I thank everybody for being with us, especially the speakers who have been with us with a very short span of time. Thank you very much again. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harshev sir. So at the end of the seminar, so this will not be the end of association with students. Very soon we are coming up with a SETC student membership drive in which we shall be enrolling students as one of our SETC member, and we will provide all the job opportunities and current market scenario, what current job opportunities in each and every sector shall be updated to everyone. So I request all the students to kindly be tuned to all the social media accounts, all the websites of SETC. And thank you all for having this wonderful event. Thank you, sir. Thank you, students.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, once again. Thanks.
Thank you,
Okay. See you sometime. Okay.
Thank you, Jhala Sahib and Dr. Kulkarni.
Bye.
Jhala sir, thank you very much for being with us for a short time, short notice.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Prajapati sir and the Satish ji for helping us out at the short notice. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Jala sir.
Okay.